State your name and what you do as a living.
My name is Oscar Chavez, and since the age of 14, I work in the automotive industry.
Do you like your current job?
Actually, I like my job. I like the industry I work in. The automotive industry has been a great trade that was handed down as a family trade, and it has allowed me to give my family a decent living and has paved the way for a lot of the things that I do outside of the automotive industry.
What are some of your hobbies?
Talking about what the automotive industry has paved the way for is I my hobbies are filming, audio, video, music. So yeah, automotive industry has paved the way as I make a living and allow me to be involved in freelance video. Allow me to be a film producer, a video producer, and has also allowed me to be a musician, an artist who at one point I made a name for myself in Florida, and have constantly, one way or another, stayed in the music industry.
Is it hard to balance your life as a father and an artist?
I think any time that you're trying to juggle several hats, it obviously it can become at one point or another difficult. Personal life and the professional life are not never well one with the other. It just it can get complicated. Having the family support always does help. Um, the fact that my kids are also involved in a lot of the stuff that I do does help, and having them, having your family be your number one fans is it's one of the things that really does help to get all this out.
So far, how far have you come in your music career?
How far have I come? That's how would you measure that? Well, I started my career in Miami, Florida. I can say because that's where I really took on the professional aspect. Uh, while in Miami, Florida, that's when I recorded my first song. That's when I first got on the radio. That's when I did my first uh, live performances on stage. I went on to go into Calle Ocho 7 years in a row as an artist for Calle Ocho on the Coca Cola stage. Um, I worked with El Sol 95, where I did jingles for the radio station as well as my music got played, and I got a lot of support from them. But then, got as my career got to a good point, it affected my personal life, and so I took a step back. And a few years ago, I decided to retake head on the music career, and I have released a new album uh, as well as quite a few singles. And I think I am probably at my prime right now in my music career.
What type of music do you currently do?
It's a funny thing. I grew up listening to hip hop, so the whole lyrics and rhymes has always been part of what I do, and I mean it still is. Um, but I grew up in California, so I was listening to Tupac, Two Live Crew, NWA, Kid Frost. I was just all over the place. Just enriched with different types of artists and their styles. But then when I went to Miami, Florida, I got hit with a brick wall because it was a different world. Miami, Florida is all about tropical music, about dancing, about being out on the dance floor, about the vibe of Latino. And so I had to rethink my lyrics, rethink my style. But I think I adapted well, and that's one of the reasons I made a bit of a name for myself in Miami. And now that I took on the music career again, I decided that was my target. That was my goal. My genre was the tropical, which includes mambo, merengue, bachata, cumbia, a little bit of punta urbana. So that's what I'm doing. I wouldn't say that I do any one particular. I don't do bachata. I do a little bit of everything. And so I guess my genre of my style of music right now would be urban tropical.
Let's pause.
Who inspires me to do music? Um, that's really a big question. I think as an artist, we often write about things that we know about. We write about other people's lives that we know about. Um, we look up to artists, and I have a whole array of artists that I look up to. As I mentioned before, I grew up in California listening to hip hop, so I have a lot of hip hop um, artists that I remember, and I wanted to be like. And then my life changed. I went to Miami, and then I have a whole new list of different artists in a completely different genre that just I think they're so awesome. Like when it comes to in California, some of the people I looked up to, Tupac, lyrically wise, the lyrical master that he was, Eminem, Run DMC, just so many different artists in the hip hop world. Then went to Florida, and life changing. Here I am listening to mambo, merengue, bachata, just all different Latin vibes and rich world of Latin. And I'd say my artist that I looked up to back then was Oro Solido, La Banda Gorda. There were so many different artists, but that's just a few that I can think of right now. And I think they are the ones that inspire me. And after the artists inspire you to be like them, then you need people that inspire you on an everyday basis to write. And that's when your family support comes in, your friends, stories. Nowadays is even easier, I think, with social media. You have stories that just show up on your social media, on your Facebook, and they can inspire you to write. You can write about all kinds of different things. So nowadays, I think inspiration is all over the place. It's always been out there, everywhere. You can write about anything, but nowadays it's a lot more easier. And if you have the support of your family, even more so.
Have you done any recent live events?
The last live event that I actually did was for Telemundo, Vive Nuestra Música, and that was a little under a year ago. I have not done live events since because of many complications, work and stuff. But I have been more concentrating on the studio aspect, getting a lot more material. I feel that if I'm gonna get on stage, I want to make sure that I have something rich to bring to the audience. I wanna be able to fill the slots that are allowed or given to me. So I want to make sure that I have plenty of material, and I want to make sure that it's the best. I want to make sure that when I get on stage, that people remember me.
Why do you work so hard towards your goals?
I work so hard just like everybody else because I really want to achieve all my goals. Um, but besides the fulfillment of achieving your goals, with that come the aspect of being a role model. And as a role model, I feel anyways that as my kids see me work hard for something and achieve the goals that I'm achieving, it paves the way for them to be as good as I am. Not saying that they have to match what I do, but saying that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish if they work hard enough to do it. And seeing me do it, it's maybe an inspiration for them.